Hey guys, it's Rena, and today I want to talk about a brand new Urban Decay product, which shouldn't be any surprise considering I'm such a huge Urban Decay fan and talk about them pretty much endlessly on here. It is the new Moondust eyeshadow palette. It has 8 Moondust eyeshadows, which are a different formula from their typical eyeshadow formula, and it has a really nice sturdy outer packaging. Now this came out about 2 weeks ago now or so, and I was actually still out of the country, so my boyfriend stayed up for me to get it, which was very sweet of him, because my time zones were all messed up and I didn't know what time I needed to be up. So very happy to have this. Yeah, so basically it has 8 eyeshadows. It's $49. These are 0.02 ounces a piece, which is considerably smaller than normal Urban Decay eyeshadows. A full-size Moondust eyeshadow is about this big, 0.05 ounces. So if we compare it to the pan size of these, it's, a little bit less than half. But for $49 for 8, I think that's not a bad deal. These are actually typically more expensive than traditional Urban Decay eyeshadows due to the formula. So let's talk about the formula difference, I guess. The way that these differ from a typical Urban Decay eyeshadow is that these are considerably thinner, and they're mostly just a glitter top coat almost. Now I use them in a way that makes them opaque. I typically use them with either NYX Milk if I want a little bit less of an intense, effect, or I use them with Furide Pixie Epoxy if I want a completely opaque look. And that is typically what I do, and that's typically what I do for all my eyeshadows, as long as they're not matte, because it doesn't work well with matte eyeshadows. But I've had Solstice for many months now, and I've used it plenty of times. You can really see that I've put some dents into this guy. So I have a lot of experience with this formula, and even though I've only had this for a couple days now, I can really give a good feedback on the formula, how it works, and the best ways to use them to get the most out of the shadows. I have used the palette. I used it yesterday. Yesterday I used Light Year and Galaxy, kind of creating like an ombre effect with them. And I used them over Pixie Epoxy and Primer, which is my typical way of applying the Moondust. And I put them on around 11 a.m. and by 1 a.m. they were still looking great with no creases, no fading. And I know a lot of that does have to do with the Pixie Epoxy, but even normal eyeshadows over Pixie Epoxy don't last that long sometimes. So I'm really impressed with these so far, and they're really beautiful in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch them over bare skin. They're not going to be super opaque. Some of them will look pretty transparent and just like a glitter top coat, and that's just because it's the nature of these eyeshadows. They can be used as a topper for eyeshadows. I just personally prefer to use them at their full intensity, either with a wet brush, the Pixie Epoxy, or some other sticky base. So first one here is Spectre, and this one is a really beautiful light peachy shade with a pink shift. A lot of these are beautiful and duochrome, so this one is kind of hard to show up on camera, but it's totally super glittery and shimmery. Beautiful shade, probably going to be a great all over the lid or inner corner shade. The next one is Element, right here. This one is gorgeous and I can't wait to wear it. It's kind of like an orangey red with a pink shift. Let's go ahead and swatch it next to Spectre. You can see it's kind of transparent, but it definitely has that strong shift. Over a base or used with a wet brush, this is going to be super, super intense. The next one is Magnetic. Right there, this purple with a blue shimmer sheen to it. You can see that blue really well there. These are the type of colors I love. It's right there. Kind of a grayish purple with blue. I haven't tried that one on the lid yet, but I'm sure that it'll look a little more grape purple when used with like a wet brush or something. Here's Light Year. This is the one I used yesterday, and it's honestly probably my favorite in the entire palette. It is a grass green with a purple duochrome shift. Don't know if you're going to be able to see the purple or not. I can definitely see it in person, and it's stunning. The next is Granite, which is pretty much just a grayish shade with lots and lots of silver shimmer. This one's very, very pigmented, even without a base. Okay, and now Lithium. This brown, sandy brown, kind of a grayish brown almost. Really, really pretty, tons of shimmer. I'm not a huge neutral girl, but this is the type of neutral I would like because it has so much shimmer to it. And then here's Vega, which is a navy blue with a purple sheen. These are all just so beautiful. I love that they have different color sheens to them too, and that they're not just sparkly without, you know, some interest. That one's pretty sheer on its own, but when worn over Pixie Epoxy, it will be, you know, or something similar, it'll be definitely more intense. And the last one here is Galaxy, which to me is one of the most interesting in the entire palette. It looks gray on my finger, but it has teal and purple shift if you kind of like move the pan around. I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera. Kind of see if I tip it that way that it looks purple. It's really beautiful and interesting, and I used this in the outer corner yesterday with Lightyear, and those two blended so nicely and really brought out the duochrome in both of them. So, packaging wise, it has a really nice sturdy outer case, very similar to the Electric palette, which I'm a huge fan of. It has this cutout Moondust logo, and the Urban Decay logo is raised. I like how it has this like silver and dark gray sparkle to make it kind of look like you're going through hyperspace or something. And the back has, you know, how many ounces and everything, all the information you'd want to have back here. It has a really nice opening, pretty solid, it's magnetic, and it has a nice hinged mirror so you can have it open wherever you need it. And the box is really cute too. It's like holographic. And this is for like the 20th anniversary, so it says that down here. The back is also super fun and holographic, and it has a little blurb about, you know, how they suggest applying them. So they suggest, we recommend applying Moondust eyeshadows with your fingers. For extra intense payoff, apply it wet and blend out the edges with a dry brush. You totally can apply them with your fingers. You can kind of see how intense they are in the swatches on fingers. I still use a brush. I just use it wet or, again, with a sticky base, and it gives me a perfect application. Or you can totally just apply them dry if you want for just a little bit of a top coat. If you maybe don't like to go as crazy with your eyeshadow and you want something just subtle to give a nice shimmer, these are also good for that. So I wouldn't be too put off by the fact that these look so intense, because you can see in my swatches that they are a little more sheer, and if you just put them on top of a neutral eyeshadow, you'll give it a little bit of an extra something, you know, an extra something something. I will insert a picture of these swatched over Pixie Epoxy. I did that yesterday, just so you can see what they look like when used to their like fullest potential. But yeah, that'll be just at the end of the video here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, these are really awesome eyeshadows. I really love Solstice that I've had for a long time, and so when I saw that they were making an entire palette of Moondust eyeshadows, I had to grab it because this has easily become one of my favorite eyeshadows of all time. And usually singles for me aren't like super, you know, exciting, but this one is really cool and fun. The shift in it is just gorgeous, and so I was like, I need this palette. I mean, first of all, it's Urban Decay. Second of all, it's an entire palette of Moondust eyeshadows. I mean, it was, you know, and sparkly. Come on. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and let me know if you end up picking up this palette, what you think, if you've tried the Moondust eyeshadows before, your opinions. Yeah, and maybe we can have a chat about it in the comments. So I will talk to you guys later, and thank you for watching.